First demon I encountered down here was about 2 years after being here. We used to make empanadas, and we would take them up to the park and pass them out. So we'd make buckets full of these empanadas and walk up to the park. When we were done passing out the empanadas, Pastor Jorge and I, he was a local pastor that worked with the ministry for a time, and this guy comes up and he's just 3 sheets to the wind. Actually, he was probably drugged out of his mind. And Pastor Jorge starts to share the gospel with him because he's like the evangelist. And I was like, Jorge, he's not picking up on anything we're laying down. And I was like, let's try to catch him when he's sober. Pastor Jorge's like, well, we can pray with him. And I was like, okay. So Pastor Jorge was standing to my left, and he put his left arm on the guy's right shoulder, and I put my right arm on the guy's left shoulder. Jorge prayed for him. Well, when I touched him, I felt like something wasn't right. And he started moving around and wiggling around. He didn't want us to pray for him. Tried to hold him in place. Then he looked at me and in plain English in a creepy voice just said, don't touch me, get your hands off me. So I immediately let go of him. I was like, whoa. And I was like, what's up with that? And it freaked me out bad. And he walked off. And I was like, and Jorge in his broken English, he was learning English at the time. He's like, don't touch me, get your hands off me. I'm like, what does that mean? But I knew he heard it too. And he's like, well, that guy's obviously demon possessed. But he just said it like another day in the office. For me, being from Northwest St. Johns County, I had preached on demons, talked about Christ casting out demons. I knew demons were real, but I had never encountered one. So it freaked me out. It scared me really, and I knew I wasn't supposed to have a spirit of fear. So I called some of my mentors, said, what am I supposed to do? And none of them really had great counsel on what I was supposed to do, like tangibly do. And I remember Mark Driscoll had a series back then. This was before podcasts, but it was like a message series on spiritual warfare. So I downloaded it and listened to it, and he gave some good practical, like you don't really address them, you don't talk to them, you just try to cast them out in the name of Christ. Fast forward about 1.5 years, 2 years, we were at the church plant, and I heard some screaming back in the kitchen, which was unusual. And I walked back there, and Pastor Melba, she was this little lay pastor lady that helped us out a lot with the women's ministry and stuff like that. And she was just screaming at this lady, and this lady was screaming at her. And I'm like, what in the heck? And the lady she was a small Tico woman, probably 4'8", 4'10", kind of broad, but not big. And I got between her because she looked like she was getting violent. And then she started to flail around and act like she was going to hit me. And I just got her in a double arm bar, like the full Nelson. I was like, look, lady, you need to chillax. You need to settle down a little bit right here. She started to pick me up off the ground, 175-pound me, and slamming me into the wall. And I realized this woman isn't doing this. She's way too strong to be doing this. And then I look up, Jorge had walked in the room, and I realized Melba and Jorge, what Melba was screaming was she was trying to cast out a demon. This woman was demon possessed. And I was like, great, now I'm literally wrestling this woman who's demon possessed. And she's winning. Like I thought she was gonna break free and either hurt me or Melba or Jorge or whatever. And I could remember Mark Driscoll's sermon. And I just leaned forward and I whispered, in the name of Christ, I command you to leave. And it was like shutting off a light switch. I mean, that fast. She dropped to the point that I thought maybe I choked her out by accident. Like, babe, did I hurt this woman? And she dropped, and Melba and Jorge run up and start ministering to her. And I was freaked out. I started to walk out about the same time my wife walked into the kitchen. And she's like, are you okay? Because she could tell I was not okay. And I was like, we got to go home. I'll tell you all about it at the house, but we just got to go. Again, it freaked me out, not because the demon necessarily, but because I was walking around with the power in Christ inside me. And I never, ever in a million years thought, tap into that. So I have not seen another demon-possessed person. I really think God gave me those 2 circumstances for me to grow my faith so that I would understand He is more powerful and greater than anything the world can throw at us.